going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful, delicious, smoky, crispy, homemade, home-smoked, home-cured bacon. Coming up! Bacon! Everybody loves bacon. What's not to like? But much like everything else I preach on this channel, whether it's pastrami, roast beef, sausage, it's always gonna be better when you make it from scratch yourself. And bacon definitely fits into that category. You can really dial it into your exact flavor profiles. You get to hit it with some real smoke, as opposed to most bacon, which is made with liquid smoke brines. And you get to slice it yourself, which means you can do little cubes and make burn ends or lardons, thick slices, thin slices. Very tasty. So that being said, today we're gonna make some bacon, and it is going to be delicious. This is some pork belly, but more on this in a minute. Because first, we need to get our cure together. Starting with some kosher salt and some granulated sugar, as well as some pink salt. And that's really all you need for a good bacon cure. The nitrates is what's gonna cure the meat, turning it from pork belly into bacon. The salt and the sugar are gonna help draw out that moisture and add some wonderful flavor. And you could stop here, but as I mentioned, you can make your bacon taste however you like. So I'm gonna go in with some extra ingredients, including some granulated garlic, some black pepper, some dry sage, and some red chili flakes. Just kind of going for that breakfast sausage flavor profile. Because what doesn't sound good about that? And there you go. This is a big batch of bacon cure. We're not going to use all of this. We're going to get a percentage of the meat and then take that from this. But it's a lot easier to take a percentage from a larger batch like this than it is to try and do all the math to get all the proper ingredients for whatever the weight of your pork belly. Speaking of which, this is some pork belly. And whenever you're looking for some pork belly, you really want to find some that has got a lot of meat to it, because pork belly is a very fatty cut, and sometimes it's ridiculously fatty. And this is looking perfect to me. Beautiful dark red pork on there, nice fat content, and exactly what you're looking for some beautiful streaky bacon. And you can get this for yourself, because this video is brought to you by Porter Road, the online butcher shop based out of Nashville, Tennessee, that specializes in high-end beef, pork, chicken, and charcuterie. And I must say, their beef sticks are fantastic. They just sent me a new box because I ate the first one alarmingly quick. Porter Road is an amazing place to get meat because everything is hand butchered. You can tell just by how squared off and perfect every cut I get from them is, and the quality of the meat really shines through and speaks for itself. That's such a nice color for pork. And they've got a whole bunch of cuts too. They got your ribs, they got your briskets, they got your ribeyes, but they also have a lot of offcuts like hanger steaks and pig wings, uncured pork belly that you may not be able to find at your local grocery store. Also, all their beef is dry aged, which means it's going to be super tasty, super flavorful, nice and tender, and everything I've had from them has just been immaculate. The folks at Porter Road are super great to work with, and you can tell they really care about what they're doing. Just by the way, everything is packaged up nice and neat. Every roast I get from them is nice and trussed up. There's never any flaps hanging off or any silver skin, anything like that. The ribs I got from them a few weeks back was one of the best looking racks of ribs I've ever seen. But probably the most convenient part about Porter Road is that they ship it right to your door. You can go on their website and pick out whatever cut you like, as opposed to going to the grocery store where you just kind of have to hope for the best. And Porter Road will vac seal it up in these nice little packages, ship it right to your door. Could not be more convenient. So if you're in the market for some high quality, humanely raised, hand butchered meat delivered right to your door, click the link in the description of this video taking you to porterroad.com, where using my link you can get 15% off your order. Again, link in description, 15% off your order, highly recommended. Thank you, Porter Road. Looking good. Now, in order to get the right amount of cure on these pork bellies, I'm going to take the weight of the pork belly and then use 3% of our cure. Beautiful. Wow, both of these bellies weigh the exact same, down to the gram. Nice job, Porter Road. And again, this is a big batch of cure. I like to have a lot around because if I ever have any spare pork butt or rib trimmings, if you have this handy, just throw them in that and make some bacon burn ends or something. Now, simply enough, we're gonna take our cure and make sure it gets all over this pork belly. Every last little granule. All sides, folks. You know the drill. And this technique is known as an equilibrium brine, where we're using just the amount of salt and pink salt that we need for the weight of this meat. There are plenty of other techniques out there where you can just put the whole piece of belly into a big pile of salt and sugar and cure, and that works really well. You just have to make sure to desalinate it afterwards. But this way, it only gets what it needs, so you're not going to oversalt it nearly as easily. I also have another video where I did a wet cure and injected it, kind of like a pastrami. That worked pretty well, but this is the most common technique you're going to run into. All right, looking good to me. Into a little vac seal baggie we go. And of course, if there's any extra salt in your tray, throw it right on in. Time to seal it up. And there we have it, all sealed up, ready to go into the fridge for the next 7 days. You could easily do this in a Pyrex dish or in a zip top bag or something like that, but this is a great way to make sure you don't leak out anywhere or have any mess. So every few days I'm gonna go and I'm gonna flip it over, but other than that, I'll see you in a week. There's a snake in my boot. 7 days later, let's see how this bacon came out. Looking good, feeling nice and firm, and as you can see in the bag there, plenty of liquid has come out, meaning the salt and cure and sugar has done its job. I forgot a knife. Ooh, beautiful color on there. Looking good, looking like bacon. What I'm gonna do now is take these inside and rinse them off under some cool tap water, just to get all the extra cure off of this, make sure it's not too salty. Looking good to me. Now at this stage, especially if it's your first time ever making bacon, I highly recommend giving it a try before you smoke it. That way you can test it to see how much salinity is in the bacon, how much cure really made it in there. It's also a good time to just shape up any loose edges like that. Looks good to me though. And then you can adjust it before the smoke. So I'm gonna take this little scrap and fry it up real quick, just to make sure it's tasting all right. And if it's ever too salty, at this stage you can soak this in some water for maybe an hour or two, take another little taste. If it's still too salty, you can go another hour until it gets down to the right salinity for you. And on the other hand, if it's kind of bland, then you can add some rub on top or throw a little extra salt on it and really dial in your perfect bacon. And there we have it, little test run. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, that tastes really good. It's right on that edge of correct salt slash a little too salty, but that's kind of how I like my bacon. And I think with the addition of smoke, it's gonna be perfect. So I've got this pit rocking about 200 degrees and we're gonna throw this pork belly on. I'm gonna throw these on a wire rack to make sure they stay nice and clean, get lots of smoke all the way around them. But for this one, I'm gonna top it with a little black pepper. I'm a fan of pepper bacon. And again, this is where you can get really creative with your bacon. Throw some different rubs on there, maybe a sweet rub, that'd be kind of cool. But we're just going pepper today, and yes, I am gonna forget the sides, because otherwise that first slice is gonna be mega peppery, where I just kind of want a little thin bit on top. All right, on the pit we go. And again, we're going at 200 degrees Fahrenheit for this cook, because we want to give this bacon plenty of time to pick up a lot of smoke without cooking it too quickly. So we're gonna keep it right around 200 degrees, maybe up to 250 if it starts taking forever, until we reach an internal temperature of 150 degrees in the middle of both of these bellies. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. After about 4 or 5 hours of smoking, this bacon is up to temp, reading 150 degrees internal and coming off the pit, and is looking real nice. And now this pork belly is officially bacon. It has been cured, it has been smoked, and it is glistening and a beautiful sight. And the pepper bacon, come on, that looks good enough to eat already. And you could slice into this right now, but it's gonna benefit a lot from an overnight chill. And obviously you don't have to chill this overnight. You could easily slice into this right now and it'd be super tasty. But you're gonna be able to get a lot cleaner slices once it's chilled down a little bit. And by wrapping it in plastic like this, it's gonna condense all that smoky flavor and give us some better tasting bacon in the end. So I'll see y'all for breakfast in the morning. Bacon is chilled. Let's see how it came out. Smelling like bacon and looking just amazing. I mean, come on folks. Who doesn't love some homemade bacon? And this is truly the best part about making your own bacon, is that you get it in slab form. Because slab bacon like this is really hard to come by in the grocery store. And it just gives you so many options. Whether you want to dice this up, make little cubes, make some bacon bits, thick cut bacon, thin cut bacon, maybe cube this into 1 inches and make some bacon burn ends. That sounds pretty tasty, especially with this pepper one. But I'm getting hungry, so let's slice this up. And the only real downside to making your own bacon is that it's really long and often doesn't fit on a non-commercial meat slicer. Unless we went this way and got little short pieces of bacon. But luckily, using a knife isn't too hard. Looking good. And there we have it, folks. A beautiful slice of some homemade bacon. Looking beautiful. Going for some nice thick cut bacon today. You know how it is. But as you can see, the cure has definitely done its job. And it just looks like some really good bacon. And as you can see here, I'm trying to do this in one smooth cut instead of really sawing at it. That way we don't get saw marks on the bacon. Kind of like cutting steaks from a whole roast. And just like that, we have got a whole pile of some beautiful looking bacon. Let's see how it came out. While this bacon cooks, let me show you a quick little trick for perfect looking eggs. So what you want to do is grab yourself a non-stick pan. I don't have a non-stick pan, but I do have this griddle. We're just going to borrow a little bit of this bacon grease and get it lubed up a little bit. And then on we go with our eggs. And as you can see, this thing is on super low. This is on its coolest setting, which is like 200 degrees. Just crack it on there nice and slow. And now they're just gonna cook super slowly, so nothing's gonna get too crispy and they're gonna come out looking absolutely perfect. Great little trick for your Sunday morning. This bacon is smelling fantastic. What a beautiful way to start the day. Lovely looking bacon. What more do you need in life than that? And just like that, a few minutes later, we've got some perfect looking eggs. Still got that wiggle factor, but they are fully cooked through. Have you ever seen a more beautiful sunny side egg? I mean, come on, folks. This egg alone is worth hitting that subscribe button. Yep. Low and slow. Always works, no matter what you're cooking. It's also a great way to cook eggs for a group of people because they cook so slowly you can get everything else ready and you won't have to rush. It's like the overnight heated brisket hack, but for eggs. Oh, gotta love a good breakfast spread, folks. Perfect looking eggs, some lovely toast. Clayton, rate my toast. But come on, what doesn't look good about that? It's time to dive in. Boop. Gotta have a little S&P on your eggs, folks. Probably should have done that before the thumbnail. Lovely looking bacon. Nice thick cut, nice and crispy, just the way I like it. That was some good bacon, I'll tell you what. There's a reason why everyone in the world is obsessed with bacon, folks. How much convincing do I really need to do to tell you that this is really tasty stuff? I mean, it's bacon. Yeah, it's really tasty. That's a perfect salt ratio for me. And again, you can dial this into your personal taste. Again, I did 2% of the weight of the meat of cure, but if you try this and it's a little too salty, you could dial that back to 1.5% or 1%, or you know, up it if that's your style. And of course, you can always add other flavors. Ooh, nice and perfect and creamy. That is a perfect looking egg. Oh, it's so good. Man, I love breakfast. The breakfast foods are really the best. I should do a whole breakfast series. Take a little bacon, little toast, little egg yolk action. That's the bite. Very tasty stuff. Now let me know in the comments below. Are you on team floppy bacon or team crispy bacon? I think there's a time and a place for both. But again, that's the beauty of making your own. You know, if you're doing jalapeno poppers or something, you want some really thin bacon so it actually crisps up, which you can slice yourself. But for breakfast, I'm more of a thick cut kind of guy. The best part about making your own bacon is that it's got actual smoke flavor on it, you know? A lot of commercially made bacon is made with liquid smokes and brines and stuff like that. This has more of like that Texas barbecue flair to it because it's got that post oak smoke on there. It's fun to do some experiments too with different woods. Mesquite bacon, maybe direct heat smoked bacon. That sounds amazing. All that fat smoke dripping up. That's probably gonna happen. Not to mention, making your own bacon makes for a great gift. Father's Day is coming up. Around the holidays, you give someone a whole slab of some homemade, home smoked bacon. You're the hero. That is so good, especially with that high quality Porter Road pork. It's worth doing at least once. So without further ado, I think it's time for the official taste test. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic homemade bacon from scratch. I highly recommend giving this one a try. It is super fun, super tasty. Sure, it takes a week, but it's incredibly easy, and the result is definitely worth your while. I'd also love to see some creativity. You know, maybe throw some habanero powder into the blend, make a spicy bacon, or spritz the bacon with maple syrup while it's cooking. The world is yours, and you can make whatever kind of bacon you like. But that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you want to see me cook next. If you do give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.